I've had like 6 of these, maybe like 8 of these, and I'm not feeling a single thing. What's the deal?
It's NA, dude.
Wait, what?
It's non-alcoholic.
Oh, that's why we went over to ABV Technologies in St. Paul and learned about their fancy machine that takes the booze out of beer. We hope you're enjoying your bonus beer in Dabbler in a Box Season 6. This is the non-alcoholic Helles Lager from Bauhaus.
Great music lives here. We are committed to amplifying Minnesota music to keep it independent and influential. Get closer to Minnesota music with The Local Show and The Duluth Local Show, Sunday nights on The Current.
I've always been a big fan of beer. Always enjoyed trying new beers. Craft beer especially has been something that's always been part of my life growing up in Minnesota. My background is on the science side, and part of being a good scientist is not being completely hungover every day. I wanted to try different beers but not have as much alcohol in them. But what I found was really lacking. The non-alcoholic beers on the market sucked. I didn't like the malty flavors. I didn't like the wateriness and the lack of hops, and quite frankly, just the lack of creativity that exists in the craft beer world. Coming to non-alcoholic craft beer really was about just getting those flavors I wanted that didn't exist in the NA world already. When I was in grad school, I decided I wanted to make a machine for making great non-alcoholic beer from all of the different great craft beers that are available out in the marketplace. I was using laboratory glassware and things that you wouldn't use in a food and beverage grade facility. So learning how to scale those processes up to make sure that we could produce beer at the rates that craft breweries need to be able to produce it at. Those were some of the key challenges that we had early on. The usual perception when you say that you're starting a company to remove the alcohol from beer is, what the fuck are you doing that for? Getting over that initial skepticism, we found that the best way to do that was just to bring our technology to craft breweries and get them to try their existing recipes through the machine.
I was expecting something like a lot of the macro NAs you see out there that have a bad reputation for a good reason. They're not very good. The Na Helles was the one that we initially tried, and it just turned out fantastic. And I mean, the proof was in the pudding. It tasted great. Like, it blew away my expectations. One of the things that we see value in the NA space is the ability for a brewery like us to diversify our offerings a bit. Because craft beer, as everybody knows, is really crowded right now, and it has been for a couple of years. And so for us, our strategy to improve our competitiveness has been looking at what else can we do in the NA space. Not only do we have 3 different styles that we've done so far, we're going to be introducing a 4th in the next month or 2. I think it's going to be a pretty regular part of our portfolio. So the Na Helles, really neutral, goes well with just about anything, but it is a thirst-quenching drink. I don't know that a full-strength Helles has quite the same kind of thirst-quenching quality to it. I mean, it is thirst-quenching, but this is like genuinely thirst-quenching. I mean, it may as well have electrolytes in it. The new Na Sour right here, this is a great kombucha alternative for people who want that sort of lactic bite. Still has that nice fruity guava profile that the full-strength Guavatron has. We think that this is going to do really well in the spring and summer. And then the Na Amber, that's based on our full-strength Bock. Great darker beer with a little more complexity. It's sort of like the Helles with a little bit of added soul and color. Think about like fall and winter fare. Really great pairing for that kind of thing.
Our process is an extraction or filtration process where we're able to take fully fermented beer that has some alcohol by volume in it. Maybe it's a 5% lager like this one. And we're able to split it into different components. We're able to subtract out that ethanol fraction without disturbing the good smelling and good tasting components that come out of a fully fermented beer. The result of our process when we pull that fraction of ethanol out is we're able to create a non-alcoholic beer that has all of the flavors, smells, colors, textures of the original beer. And the second product is a hard seltzer base or a fermented malt beverage that is at the same ABV as the original beer.
Not gonna lie, it doesn't taste exactly like the full strength version because alcohol does play a pretty critical role in the flavor profile of any beer, even a light one with a low hop rate. You're still gonna notice that it's not there. But what you don't notice is maybe a little bit different than what you'd expect, because what alcohol does is it creates a perception of sweetness and sort of a slickness on the mouthfeel. So with those two things gone, the beer is a little bit more bitter and it maybe feels a little more thinner in the body. But if you can get over those things, and it's actually pretty easy to once you start drinking NA beers and becoming a little more familiar with them, they really do taste, at least ABV's NA beers taste really, really good. We're looking to do probably a pale ale or something similar in the spring, or sorry, in the summer. The next thing that we're going to be doing is exploring a line of sparkling tea-based NA beverages that I'm really excited about. I've been actually personally developing that for the last year or year and a half. I think NA is here to stay, and I think that part of that is driven by the wellness consumer, but the other part has to do with the technology. I mean, ABV has created a really remarkable technology that results in NA beers that are just far and away better tasting than what we normally associate with NA beers.
We're not only a manufacturer of equipment, but we're also a service provider in that wherever there's a machine around the country, people from other craft breweries can bring their beer to that location and process it through our machine. At any one of our partners in Colorado, in California, and even in Canada now, we're able to support not only that brewery that has our machine, but the neighborhood of craft breweries around that area are able to use that technology to make new NA craft styles. There are a lot of reasons why people might choose to drink non-alcoholic beer. Some of them might be around wanting to have a healthier lifestyle. They might be interested in taking a month off drinking, like the dry January approach. The community aspect is really important. As we all know, craft breweries and tap rooms provide a place for community, and making that community more inclusive to people who aren't just there to drink beer or choose not to drink beer. There are also people who just choose that for reasons that have to do with either their religious beliefs, might be that they are pregnant. If you're a craft brewer, having access to that market of additional people who can drink your product is huge. The reason we built this company was to allow people to have access to that additional demographic and grow the total volume that craft brewers can sell in.